like late boots with a bonk rock item, and then something in a pendant dungeon that they have to dive for, like in Pod or and maybe Skull Woods. Though that's people go in there pretty early, so that's kind of what I'm expecting to see.
Well, it actually looks like we have both runners off and starting both at Link's house, picking up that big 50 rupees.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad start. That right there, they know that they can buy bombs whether they get the free ones. It looks like SirBeaterOfArse is doing, but that is a nice start to your money pool.
Yes, definitely. Only 50 rupees short from that bottle vendor item. Or again, like you said, if they don't get bombs, they can purchase them.
Yes, indeed. And SirBeaterOfArse is trying to get the free ones. Didn't get any on his first try. He's going to just continue on from there. And just 5 rupees from the uncle. So a little bit more money.
Meanwhile, 10 arrows at the maze game, and Failstream finds the ice rod.
All right, so one of the most possible trolliest items in the game that can be literally anywhere in the game besides Ganon's Tower and Trinex if it is required, already found. So that's a comfort knowing that you know where Ice Rod is. And the tree pole had 20 rupee drops, so that is a very nice pull for Failstream.
Meanwhile, a full heart container back at Sanctuary, and Sir Beater finds our first bottle in the tavern. But Sick Kid unfortunately only having that piece of heart. It's not super important right now.
All right, and it looks like we found... Oh, go ahead.
Meanwhile, it looks like we will have a lumberjack ledge check, so let's see if Aghanim is required at the moment. Ooh, and it is just a heart container. So unless we don't find any Dark World access items, Aghanim is not required. Meanwhile, we have the power gloves in Blind's basement. Nothing of very big value in the hut in the Lost Woods area, so we'll keep on moving from there. Down the well we go, and immediately we find the book. So that is a nice item to find. It opens up many locations for both of our runners to check, and we have our first sword.
Yeah, that is really nice to find an early sword like that, sub 4 minutes on the sword, and the book is also really nice. And the bug net, in case they ever find some... Well, they have one bottle, so they can catch the fairies now.
So the bottle vendor only having a heart container.
Neither of the early fetch quest locations, the Sick Kid or the bottle vendors aren't really fetch quests, but kind of. Not really yielding anything too important, just a little bit of love and a full heart container.
Now, Sir Laugh-A-Lot, with the book being acquired so early and being acquired in Kakariko Village, do you think we'll see a pedestal check soon?
I think with especially where SirBeaterOfArse is headed, I believe that would be a really good check right now. You're not going to be able to route it in any better unless you're doing school bullets and happen to have the mirror. So I think this would be the best time to get that information, and it looks like we might see that. Maybe not.
Yeah, it looks like we will not, at least on SirBeater's side.
Yeah, and I don't think we'll see it from Failstream's side. At this point, they're routing south through Kakariko, so they're not going to be routing the same direction that SirBeaterOfArse did. But we do have an opportunity to see if they'll check it later. But at this point in time, it does not look like we will get a pedestal check.
Which the pedestal could have a very important item. We don't know right now. We haven't even seen a map check.
Yeah, that is very true. So we don't even know what our crystals and pendants in Light World are yet, as we are going to get a back of escape check from SirBeaterOfArse. Early Power Gloves is very nice. For that reason, opens up a lot of locations, as well as the possibility of getting to other locations that you need the gloves for, like Zoro.
But going back to the map check topic, I can understand why we... Oh, there's the Hookshot, actually. So that's a nice find. But my guess is the reasoning for no map check is they're going to exhaust as many overworld options that they can and then start heading into dungeons. So it's probably on their mind, just in the back of their mind.
I would definitely agree with that. There's no real need to check it early. Some runners like to have that information right off the bat so they can kind of start planning in their routing, but it's really not something that I've found intensely necessary until you've kind of gotten through all those big locations. We haven't even seen south of Hyrule yet. We don't even know what could possibly be in Mini Moldorm Cave, which can have plenty of items.
Yes, that is very true, but it looks like on SirBeater's side, we will have a Houlihan room set up.
Yes, we do. That is 220 rupees, if I'm not mistaken. I can never remember the exact amount, but that'll put them really close to Zora money.
It is actually 225, but you are very close.
1 rupee off. But yes, that'll really, I like to play. They haven't gotten a lot of rupees to start. They'd already had to spend some of the ones that they'd gotten early, so this gets them really close to that Zora money. You see 405 right there, just 95 short of possible Zora check, which is in logic with those power gloves.
Meanwhile, we have SirBeater headed to South Hyrule, and my guess is Failstream will go to Death Mountain in the dark. Maybe not, actually. Oh, yeah, we have a dark Death Mountain, or not actually a dark, but a in the dark Death Mountain trip.
Yeah, he juked you a little bit there. Decided to get a few more rupees from that tree pull, remembering that it dropped 420s, which is, again, why he has 446 rupees without having done a Houlihan's check.
But we do have the big 300 rupees.
Yes, looks like somebody might have drowned in the lake and lost all their money, or as they were swimming, lost their pouch of rupees. That's a nice find underneath the Lake Hylia, I don't know. That's not Lake Hylia. Lake Hylia is further to the right. The swamp dam.
Yes. Meanwhile, we have the sequence broken shield on Failstream side.
Yes, and one thing that I love about early Hookshot that we're seeing from SirBeaterOfArse here, it makes this mini Moldorm Cave just maybe a little bit hard sometimes depending on the routing, but really easy to do with the Hookshot. It gets them in one shot. You don't have to worry about going across, and if they drop anything nice, you can hook it right over for you.
Nothing really super important in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Nope. We do see another 300 rupees on top of Spectacle Rock, and SirBeaterOfArse did get their in-sequence shield, so both runners now have a shield.
Switching back over to Failstream side, we do have them on the east side of Death Mountain. And it looks like SirBeater is headed to the Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, I really actually like this decision by Failstream. Though it is a sequence break, there's a lot of items that the hookshot opens up over on this side. So I like this play by him. Even the small sequence break, we'll see if it leads to anything major. And there's the Titan's Mitts. Oh my.
Very big.
So that is a pretty massive sequence break at this point. We are just missing a Moon Pearl from a Dark World access, and if he finds that while in this cave, that opens up everything in Death Mountain for Failstream, and that will be pretty major.
And was that the Moon Pearl?
Oh my goodness. Okay then. So Moon Pearl, that is pretty fantastic for Failstream, and a fairy in a bottle. So that is, we could not have gotten a better place for that Moon Pearl, especially with getting the Titans in the same location.
So SirBeater headed through Hyrule Castle while Failstream treks through Spiral Cave.
This is a very, very slow and arduous walk for Failstream without those boots. Round and round you go, not getting anywhere. But SirBeaterOfArse is doing a more traditional look to this since he has not sequence broke anything yet. Sometimes, sequence breaking can be a real problem because it throws you off the logic of the seed and you can end up making some bad decisions. But in this case, it has yielded really good results for Failstream so far.
So with SirBeater finding the small key where they found it, we will have one item in the sewers of Escape. Because we did find the map in the back, or in the front half of Escape.
That is correct. So that will see if they decide to go there in that dark room. It is one that, until open mode became more of a common thing, was not very well practiced, because in standard mode, you're given that light cone for the escape portion, just in case you don't get lamp. But with open mode, that is definitely a possibility of having to do that in the dark.
Failstream is going to check Turtle Rock, and the Turtle Rock medallion is ether. And see what items are inside Hookshot Cave.
Did you watch SirBeater's screen there? He froze the green guard and used it to throw into the chain guard to kill him. I have never seen that before, and that was fantastic.
I did not even know that was possible.
Me neither, and I love it.
Today I learned.
All right, so we finally do get a map check from SirBeaterOfArse. It is Crystal 3 and 2 in Eastern and Desert, respectively, as the green pendant on Tower of Hera.
Ooh, Tower of Hera with that incentive. Fortunately for the runners, Tower of Hera isn't that long and is not very difficult to complete.
Yeah, it is an easy one, and we currently do not have any access to it as of yet, even with Failstream sequence break. So this is not something we will see for a little while, but there are plenty of items over in the eastern part where SirBeaterOfArse is. It'll be interesting to see if we find a flute or lamp, because we do know that Death Mountain has a lot of value, as we saw from Failstream, and he has Dark World access. So I'm not surprised that he's finishing up Light World stuff before heading there, knowing that he's sequence broke. It's very, very good thinking on Failstream's part, I would say.
Ooh, and there's our lamp.
Yeah, and that is one of the 3 items in Eastern. So now we will see what else Eastern Palace has. Currently not completable because of the lack of bow, but that does make the rest of the dungeon accessible by lamp. And now Death Mountain is in the logic for SirBeaterOfArse, so they likely will be heading there pretty shortly after this.
And by the way Failstream is headed into Kakariko Village, my guess is they're going to clear out Village of Outcasts and then head into Thieves Town. Ooh, but we do have another map check. Crystals 5 and 6 are at Thieves Town and Swamp Palace, while Blue Pendant is at Palace of Darkness and Red Pendant is at Skull Woods.
Yeah, that is Thieves Town being one of the 5 and 6 is nice, but having Swamp Palace be there, it's kind of one of those, maybe a red herring. You don't know if it's going to be something you want to go for. It depends on what items we have early, but we do have Hookshot, so that is one small comfort in that respect. No, you won't have to go into Swamp Palace looking for that item.
So SirBeater will pick up their last item in Eastern Palace, and it is the compass, and they will save and quit on out.
And that leaves one item on the Argos Knights. So regardless, they will have to come back because it is a crystal, which is nice that they know that they're not going to have to worry about leaving an item behind. It is bow locked currently, as we mentioned, so it'll be... I didn't catch what was on the Bumper Cave. That was a really quick check.
It was Blue Mail.
Probably not going to see them going after that anytime. Ever. Really. Oh, all right then. There is the bow for Failstream. That is, he has been making the plays right now with that sequence break. Never went to Eastern, didn't get the lamp. So the logic wanted you to go to Eastern to get the lamp, to go into Death Mountain to get your access to Dark World, to then get the bow to be able to go back and finish Eastern. So Failstream will be able to do a one-time trip into Eastern. So that is really nice routing for him with that sequence break so far.
Yes, quite a nice gamble. And into Thieves Town we go on Failstream's side. We will have 4 chests in the front half. One of them must be the big key. Which, there it is. So SirBeater is making their way through Death Mountain, and they will pick up their Titan's Mitts and Moon Pearl very shortly.
Yeah, they will be very happy to get those items and know that'll lead them directly into the dark world, excuse me. And the seed has been pretty logical so far, even with Failstream's sequence break. He didn't get too much of an advantage at this point, simply because the seed didn't let SirBeaterOfArse get too off course without following suit.
Not at all. And I'm going to be honest, I really don't blame SirBeater for following the game's logic, because most of the time, and keyword is most, sequence breaks really don't help you out all that much.
Yeah, that is very true. And in this case, it is only saving Failstream a double dip into Eastern. And other than that, I don't know. I mean, it looks like Failstream's ahead at this point simply because they are ahead and because they did the sequence break and didn't do any Eastern. But it's not going to be a massive difference once Failstream does have to go into Eastern, which will happen later.
For those of you asking what Turtle Rock was, it was Ether. Yeah, Failstream almost at blind.
Yeah, making pretty quick work of Thieves Town. Getting that flute inside of Thieves Town is very nice. I have not been counting the items as well as I should have. I don't know if there's a chance of the big chest having an item, which with no hammer is always a big concern. You never know if you're going to have to double dip into Thieves Town for that item. And I've seen it be way too many good items, way too many big items to not be worried about that. At this moment, I am not sure if there is an item in there or not.
So we are missing the map, and with 50 rupees being found in that chest right next to the pseudo maiden, it is a 50-50 chance.
Yes, so Failstream is going to be hoping that Blind will have the final item, so they don't have to worry about ever coming back in here for that hammer or having it in the back of your mind. It's never fun leaving an item in a dungeon, wondering what it may be. In the case of SirBeaterOfArse with Eastern Palace, it's not as bad because you know that it can't be something super important like the bow, because you need the bow to get there.
Yes, that is true. However, Failstream takes down Blind, and we will see what item is there, and it is the map.
Oh, that is tough. So now they will have to have that in the back of their mind, wondering if the hammer is locking an important item. And it'll be interesting to see how long it takes Failstream to come back when they do get the hammer, because routing Thieves Town like this on its own can be very tough, especially to have to go all the way to the big chest. You always usually save that till you have very few options left.
It looks like Sir Beater's headed into the sewers to pick up their last item in Escape. And Failstream heads on over to Eastern Palace.
Yeah, they have that bow strapped over their shoulders, so they'll be able to make quick work of Eastern Palace and get all the items. So we'll see which item was left behind by SirBeaterOfArse, simply because they had not gotten the bow yet. SirBeaterOfArse, I would imagine, is heading to Dark World after getting this item in Dark Escape.
Now, Sir Laugh-A-Lot, do you think we'll see a Palace of Darkness dip? Actually, we will not, because we don't have the hammer.
Yeah, at this point, we do not have access to Palace of the Darkness. That is a good point. Unless we, and, at this point, that also brings up the fact that Aghanim could still be required. If we don't get flippers or hammer, Aghanim can still be required. Now, there's something that I had just thought about. We got the book really early on, and neither runner has made it to Desert Palace yet, which isn't too surprising because it is really out of the way without flute or the boots to get over there quickly, which Failstream did pick up the flute in Thieves Town, has not yet activated it. I believe, I don't remember seeing that, but probably we'll see that after finishing up the Eastern Palace dungeon as Failstream picks up their lamp.
But we now have Sir Beater headed into Skull Woods.
Yeah, and there was nothing really too exciting in there for Failstream, so SirBeaterOfArse will find out very quickly that this is not a very good dungeon to be in, Pendant Swamp especially. All right, so little Gabes, where do you think Failstream will be heading next after finishing up Eastern Palace and most likely picking up, activating their flute?
Ooh. I want to say Desert Palace.
I think that would probably be the most logical choice, and what they could do is a quick Mire shed check and Misery Mire medallion check. Oh wait, they don't have Mire. They wouldn't want to do that unless they have done Desert first.
Yes. Looks like Sir Beater is having some serious issues pulling that statue.
It looks like it is stuck or frozen. I don't think he can push or pull that. There we go. He might get stuck again.
Ooh, I feel like Sir Beater is saying very many redacted words at the moment.
I would not be surprised. That was a very frustrating moment for Sir. I am positive that was very frustrating.
And they unfortunately had that fairy, which I'm sure they did not think about.
Yep, you see them make a few sword slashes there and get grabbed by the Wallmaster. That was an accidental use of the fairy. Did not remember and set up the death warp nicely, but forgot about the fairy. That hurts. You do not want to waste a fairy like that. All right, Failstream should be able to make very quick work of the Armos Knights with the silvers in tow, and we'll be able to see what our final item on the Eastern Palace, in the Eastern Palace dungeon is. The mirror!
Ooh.
Okay.
So now I guess that changes my opinion on what would I do next. I would personally go activate the flute if it's not been activated and head over to the Misery Mire area.
Yeah, I don't think it changes it too much, because after Mire, you check Desert Palace right after. So it's pretty close to the same path, just a quick little pit stop on the way. Now, this begs the question, how long will it be until Sir Beater returns to Eastern for that mirror?
Ooh, I don't know. And judging how they accidentally just died in Village of Outcasts, they probably aren't thinking about it too much.
Probably not. Maybe starting to get a little tilted after the accidental fairy use. Actually, they did pick up the bow in the C-shaped house, so that might have put them on the right path to return to Eastern.
And I think you are correct, Sir Laugh-A-Lot.
That death would have been the luckiest death in this race at this point. That's probably kept him in this race, because that could have been something that he may not have returned to for quite some time.
It looks like Failstream is possibly going to do the blacksmith purple chest combo, or even the dig game first, and then to the... Oh, nope, we're doing the blacksmiths first.
Yes, we are. So not checking Mire area and heading to Desert, which I'm kind of surprised about. I feel like that would have been a good check, at least for the knowledge of the medallion. Seeing if this is a boots required seed, because at this point we don't know if Desert is boots locked. So I'm kind of surprised that he's making some overworld decisions. But, you know, if he gets some items, looks like he knew better than us.
So we have Failstream making their way over to the dig game.
Yes, and this will be our first check of the dig game. I'm guessing we'll see the purple chest after this, considering they did the dwarves first. Maybe they forgot about the dig game for a moment there, because usually you'd want to go to dig game first, then get the dwarves, because then the purple chest is just there right after, unless Failstream has no intention of doing the purple chest, which would also be something that I would not be entirely sure what their reasoning is.
Ooh, but the hammer.
Oh my goodness. Every time we're about to say that the decisions Failstream's making isn't going to turn out, they turn out for him. He has been making all the right decisions, whether intentional or not. They have been playing out very nicely for him.
And dare I make the pun of stop hammer time.
Yeah, that is, I cannot believe that has happened. That's multiple times. It's always an interesting decision by Failstream, and the results have been extremely beneficial for Failstream so far.
So that adds at least one other convenient location that they can check while heading over to the purple chest without the magic powder or the mushroom and cane of Samaria, they will not be able to check the magic bat.
That is correct. And it looks like SirBeaterOfArse is going to head up to Zora's, did the fake flipper by the whirlpool above Swamp Palace to head over this way. This is his first sequence break, so this is an interesting decision if he does continue on to Zora, of course.
So SirBeater is picking up one blue potion and saving and quitting.
All right, so they didn't really sequence break. They just used fake flippers to fill up both their bottles with blue goo. Did spend some magic to empty out the green one. So now they have 2 blue bottles. It's, kind of an interesting decision. Didn't really route it into anything. So, and unfortunately for him, has not been into Thieves Town, so does not have the flippers yet. Or excuse me, the flute to have made that a better routing. So far, not entirely sure where where SirBeaterOfArse is going.
If they had the book out, I would say a pedestal check, but there's no book. Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, if they are going to Kakariko, this is not very good routing. So I hope that is their intention, and they just have not switched it over yet, because there's no need until, of course, you get there. And it does indeed look like we are getting a pedestal check.
So if you have the pedestal emote or some form of hype emote, get them ready.
We will see early on if the pedestal is hype, and it is not. Just bomb capacity.
So rip the dream.
Yeah, that dream is super dead, as Failstream does drop off the chest just for 3 bombs, and might be now heading to Desert. They will not be able to receive the item in this Bombos tablet, but with the book can read what the item is.
When the Bombos tablet is the same as the pedestal.
So far, the book not yielding anything, and since we do have the flute, the book may not be required. One more possible location where the book would be required.
But it looks like we will have a hype cave check on Failstream's side.
Yeah, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they're routing this into pod. They now have all the access they need to get it and complete it. So this could be very good routing by Failstream right here. And there's the flippers.
So, do we see...
And the fire rod! Oh, man.
Single arrow, 20 rupees, and 20 more rupees. I would definitely say hype.
Yeah, the return of Hype Cave in this race. It has been a while since I have seen anything even remotely hype inside of Hype Cave. I had been getting to the point where I was calling it Disappointment Cave.
So that opens up the rest of Skull Woods and Ice Palace.
Yeah, and they now have the ability to kill Trinex. That is both rods required, and just the medallion and Cane of Samaria away from being able to do Turtle Rock. So we're getting pretty close to the end here for Failstream on a possible go mode, and they will be doing Swamp Palace, having just got the flippers. Not a bad idea.
So, Sir Laugh-A-Lot, do you think our last medallion or the Cane of Samaria will be our go mode item?
You know, I'm going to go with Cane of Samaria inside of Misery Mire, vanilla. I'm going to go straight vanilla in the big chest of Misery Mire for Cane of Samaria. and they will have had both of the medallions required. Well, or maybe the one. At this point, we do know that we need ether. We don't know what Mire's requirement is yet. What about you? Do you think we're going to need boots in this seed?
Ooh. I'm going to be honest, I completely forgot about that. I don't think we'll need boots. I think we'll see map on the torch in Desert Palace.
The map on Desert Palace torch. All right. And then, of course, that means you are not going for the torch in Ganon's Tower for Big Key.
Normally, I do go for the torch in Ganon's Tower for the big key, but today I'm not.
All right.
No torch items today.
All right. We will see how this plays out, of course. I'm still going for Desert Palace Big Key on the torch. I feel like this is going to be... I was feeling two items are going to be trolling. Canis Maria and Boots. I'm feeling it right now. Feeling it.
Are you hoping for possibly vanilla boots?
I'm wanting boots off of Trinex.
Ooh.
I'm just getting a little evil now, that's all.
SirBeater makes their way through Thieves Town, and Failstream is going on through Swamp Palace.
Yep, and even though they do have the hookshot in tow, they're going to do the full left side clear. You know, I'm a fan of doing the full left side, especially when you're looking for multiple items remaining, and at this point, hoping probably to find another sword or two before getting to Argos. At this point, they will be doing the hammer strats, which can be very time-consuming in your menu.
I do find it interesting, though, we have actually not seen a master or tempered sword upgrade.
Yeah, we got a super early first sword at about 343 for SirBeater, and since then have not found another sword. It has been quite some time.
Actually, I think I'm going to change my Go Mode item prediction. I think it'll be a Master Sword.
Ooh. And that's one of those tricky ones, because you can do everything in the game but kill Ganon with Master Sword, with Fighter Sword, or other items. So that it could be a very tricky one. Alright, so far, Swamp Palace has not had much else. It did have the Blue Mail, which is our first mail upgrade. Not a bad item to find, as SirBeaterOfArse does finish off blind. It got a little closer with 1 heart remaining, but kept their cool and was able to deliver the killing blow.
SirBeater now activates their flute.
Yeah, I like this decision. They're going to be able to... They finished Thieves Town. They had the Mire. Quick, easy way to activate it. Now, I'm thinking they're going to head to the Mire area. With the way that the seed's gone for them, I feel like that's the decision they're going to make, having just activated it right now. And it looks like I am so wrong.
Now, Sir Laugh-A-Lot on Failstream side After they complete Swamp Palace, they will have 2 more chests open to them. Do you think we will see a Pyramid Fairy check?
You know, I think we will. Oh, there's our ether. So one of the 2 remaining items for Turtle Rock access, excuse me, were just found. We just need Kana Samari to be able to do Turtle Rock at this point. And back to my point, I think that would be a good route. You put the pyramid fairy item. You do the pyramid. Excuse me. Let me restart this. You do the pyramid fairy 2 chests. Check the item on the ledge in the pyramid, catfish, and then head down to pod. That I think would be your most efficient way to get all of those checks in while going towards pod.
So we will now be seeing hammer strats on Failstream's side. For those of you who are unaware, the hammer actually does the same amount of damage as the tempered sword.
Yes, indeed it does. And this is a very, very tough fight without a sword upgrade, because you have to switch to the hammer, back to the hookshot, to the hammer, back to the hookshot. And it can be very time consuming, and you're giving your thumb a nice little workout bouncing between those very rapidly to maintain speed.
Failstream using some fire rod strats on Argos, while SirBeater brings back the purple chest.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Used all their magic on Failstream's side, so they had to pull out the hammer. One more whack gets it. And as somebody in chat had pointed out, Argus had the big key, which leaves the map inside of the big chest. Not too bad of a swamp palace. Will not have to return. That is always nice knowing that you don't have to go back into the dungeon. They will then take off from Swamp Palace. It'll be interesting to see where they go. Meanwhile, SirBeaterOfArse got the hammer, but did not check the hammer pegs. I do not remember seeing them check that.
They, in fact, did not.
All right, so we're finally getting a desert and mire check on Failstream's side. I checked the desert ledge real quick, since without boots, that would be quite the trek down there to check that item. So I like the decision to hop down and check that real quick and fluke back up. And we will finally get to see what medallion is required for Mire. Maybe? Nope, not yet.
₹20 inside of Checkerboard Cave. And let's see what item is in Agina's cave.
And I couldn't quite rightly tell, was that Bombos or Quake for the required medallion in Mire?
I did not get a good look at it.
It was a little too blurry on my end. I was not able to get a good look at it. It did not look like either. It looked like it was either Quake or Bombos to me. And Agina's Cave just having a piece of heart. As SirBeaterOfArse finally gets their flippers, and Fire Rod will be glad to see Hype Cave actually holding out today.
Meanwhile, Failstream heads on up to Ice Rod Cave.
That is right. They have not been there yet. This is their first check into Ice Rod, as we finally are getting to see some of the items that flippers yield, and we have just a piece of heart on Lake Hylia Island, and we'll get to see, I do believe, no, we have not seen anybody do fake flippers, so this will be our first oboe check as well.
Well, SirBeater did do a fake flipper glitch earlier. However, it was not the standard fake flippers route.
That is correct. He just used it to get to the witch for some bottle refills, and it looks like Failstream set up the fake flippers there, forgetting that they had actual flippers. So they will make their way on the same route, as there are just triple bombs on the hobo.
We actually have someone in chat, Sarah Zelda 1, confirming that Bombos was at Misery Mire. Thank you very much for that.
Much appreciated. So we do not have Bombos yet, and we do not know where it is. So that will be interesting to see where that item is. So at this point, well, we don't know yet.
So my guess is after SirBeater does the not the Pyramid Fairy, the Waterfall Fairy and Zora check, they will probably head to Ice Palace.
Yeah, they both have the full access to Ice Palace right now, and it looks like Failstream is going to go to Desert, is my guess, because they do not have access to Mire. They've already checked all this stuff over here, so they are hopping into Desert. We will finally get to see if this is a boots required, at least for Desert Seed, or if it may be a Schrodinger's Go mode, depending on the boots.
While we have SirBeater about to pick up their item from Zora, we will have Failstream about to let us know whether or not we will need to go find boots.
Oh, we do!
That is quite unfortunate.
Oh, all right. So this is definitely a boots required steed. Now, how fortunate would it be to find boots inside a desert? That would be our vanilla location right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course, it wouldn't be vanilla, exact vanilla location, because it cannot be on that big chest, since you need the boots to get the big key. And there's our powder.
So that is one more location that Failstream can check. But there is the Cane of Samaria, and out they go.
Indeed, and now they have full access to everything in Turtle Rock. So Turtle Rock is fully open to Failstream, and it looks like they might be deciding to go there.
Oh, I fully expect Failstream to head to Turtle Rock.
Do you think we see an Ether Tablet check as well as Tower of Hera check before Turtle Rock, though?
I expect a Tower of Hera check, but not an Ether Tablet check.
Yeah, and you know what? The way that they're routing this, it does not look like they are going to go to Tower of Hera at all. They will be doing Turtle Rock first, by the looks of it.
So SirBeater picks up their heart piece from Agina's cave, and Failstream forgetting that they need the hammer to hammer down the pegs.
Yeah, they just tried to hookshot it. Didn't work out so well for them. And now it'll be interesting. They can go in right now, which it seems like that is their decision. But they could also head over and check Tower of Hera first. But I think if they were have to have gone into Tower Hera, they would have done that by going up on the west side of Death Mountain and then heading east. And they are indeed going into Turtle Rock. Honestly, I like it. I like this play.
Now, technically, according to the logic, Laser Bridge is not accessible at the moment due to them not having the Cane of Burna, the Magic Cape, or the Riot Shield, or I guess Mirror Shield is the technical name.
That is a very good point. So, the item at this point, though, they don't need to worry about not being able to complete Turtle Rock due to logic. But the possible Bombos Medallion or boots could be on the Laser Bridge, which the logic we don't know if it would want them to double dip for that item. Now, it would be pretty crazy to see if, like, say, one of those items that would open the Laser Bridge is on Trinex, the seed would have wanted them to go back in for Laser Bridge. But I have seen both runners perform laser skips even without boots, and they seem comfortable with it.
Now, Failstream took a death right at the roller room, but they do have that fairy. Meanwhile, SirBeater picks up their Cane of Samaria.
And they picked up their cane and powder, so now there's our boots.
Very nice find.
So now we are now one item away from go mode. We are Bombos Medallion away from go mode on Failstream's side, as SirBeater is heading into Ice Palace.
So it is a matter of time before we see who made the right gamble.
Yes, indeed. And so far, Failstream's gambles have all been paying off pretty well for him so far. They have been able to route everything in just phenomenally. And again, Randomizer, there's a lot of luck in it. You got to be able to read some of the logic, but you never know if a decision's going to make it, be a really good one or a bad one. And in this case, it seems like everything Failstream has done has been fantastic for them, as SirBeaterOfArse does get the Cane of Burna inside of Ice Palace.
Failstream stocks up on those fairies.
And that is very true, chat. Sorry, I totally forgot about the fact that there's no Master Sword. That is one item I always forget about as go mode, because usually you get Master Sword relatively early before other items, but thank you for correcting me.
So with SirBeater having both the Hookshot and Cane of Samaria, I think they technically don't have to do that bomb skip, but I believe it's just instinctive to do it.
Yeah, that is not required, and I think at this point it seems to be everybody just does it regardless of how the seed is playing out. It does seem, like you said, a very instinctive play at this point.
So Mimic Cave had that 5 arrow capacity upgrade, not really what Failstream wants to see right now.
Nope, not at all. They are looking for a sword upgrade as well as bombos. At this point, that is all that Failstream needs to be in go mode.
Well, we have Failstream almost at the laser bridge, and SirBeater is maybe about half, 2/3 of the way through Ice Palace.
Yep, and we will see some laser skips here by Failstream. And really doing a very nice job, even though they're not using the boots that they may have forgotten they have.
Now, Failstream does need to be careful. I believe with Blue Mail, the lasers do 2 hearts. Is that correct?
I believe you are correct, and then a lot of times they knock you off, so that's 3 hearts when they hit you a lot of times. Taking the safety door, not a bad idea. Yeah, because there goes 3 hearts, 2 from the laser and 1 from the fall. They did have a fairy, but still, that safety door is always a nice idea when you're struggling with laser skips. And there's half magic. That is a very nice item to have.
SirBeater picks up another big red rupee pickup, and there's Bombos on Laser Bridge.
Oh my goodness. So far, Turtle Rock has had 2 required items. That is, again, this gamble by Failstream has been quite fantastic. And getting that half magic is probably a huge sigh of relief. They no longer have to worry as much about Trinex with only the fighter sword. This will be a very fun fight to watch. It is not fun having to switch between your weapons and the fire rods, or the rods and probably hammers, my guess is what they'll use.
Yes, I fully expect Failstream to use the hammer.
And indeed, Failstream does use the hammer. Definitely the best choice. Again, you mentioned earlier that it does do temper damage, so that will make this a much better fight than Fighter Sword.
So while we have Failstream at Trinex, we have SirBeater about to drop down onto Cold Stare. And unfortunately,
Yes.
without having full magic, or half magic, or Bombos, they won't actually be able to break the outer shell.
Oh no, that is... Oh, they do have the blue magic, though.
Oh, nice save.
That is very, very nice for SirBeater to remember that he had those blue magics, and this will help significantly on Cold Stare, because they will be able to burn through. Unfortunately, have to use all their blue magic to do the damage, because Fighter Sword does not do enough damage, and Hammer is just, it's sketchy, because you got to get super close with that small hitbox.
That is the only downside to using the hammer.
Yeah, and after taking a few hits from the eyeballs, which do a significant amount of damage from getting direct contact from one of the eyeballs, pulls out the blue potion and uses Fire Rod to help try and finish off. Believe one hit with the hammer will finish this eyeball. It was 2. Not bad. And as Failstream does finish up Trinex as well, both finish off their respective dungeons pretty close to the same time.
So if I was in Failstream's shoes, I wouldn't be too worried about not finding a Master Sword in Turtle Rock, because they have 3 more dungeons they can go through. However, we know from seeing SirBeater's side, there was not a sword upgrade in Ice Palace.
Yep, and Desert Palace, they've already gotten the items out of. No, wait, there's 3 items in Desert, so there could potentially be 1 more here.
We still also have all of Ganon's Tower to search through.
And that is very, very sketchy to have to go into Ganon's Tower with just Fighter Sword, hoping to find a sword upgrade there. I have seen a race lost by that gamble, so it is a very sketchy when you get all the way to Ganon with just the Fighter Sword, hoping to find it. Of course, you wouldn't go to Ganon because you wouldn't be able to beat him, but that is a big gamble. And if it pays off, you will probably be well ahead of your opponent that they do not make that decision.
Now on Failstream side, we do have a couple boots locked locations that they can check, like the Bonk Rocks and the King's Tomb.
Yeah, that is very true. I feel like they'll do all the crystal dungeons first, hoping to find the required item, that Master Sword upgrade, without having to go out of their way. But I also wouldn't be too surprised to check Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb, because they are pretty quick checks after saving quitting to Sanctuary.
We have Failstream with the Zero Cycle Silver Arrow Lamolas. Failstream has, I don't want to say has the maximum efficiency route, but they set that up very efficiently.
Indeed, they did.
Sir Laugh-A-Lot, if you were in Failstream's shoes, heading into Misery Mire, would you want the first item you find to be the big key?
And it's tough, where you're not looking for, where you're still looking for a sword. I think I would like to see a sword first, and then a big key next, because then I know I don't have to worry about really checking any other items, because at this point, they are still looking for that sword. That would be something that I would like to have sooner rather than later, knowing that I don't need to worry about it going forward.
Now, let's say you did find the big key in the first chest. Would you still full clear the dungeon?
Oh man, that is a tough decision. I would probably still look for the sword inside of Crystal Dungeons at the least. Oh, there it is. So we are going to see what Failstream does.
So it looks like Failstream will at least be semi-clearing Misery Mire. Possibly full clearing.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Even if he just checks these quicker chests, not a bad decision. Checking the fire torch room where you got to light the torches and the wall moves, that is such a long check. He's probably hoping to not have to worry about that. I know I for sure would love to avoid that room.
So far, Failstream's quest to find a progressive sword upgrade has been unsuccessful.
Yeah, just already found one of the items inside of Misery Mire, and it was a full heart container. Another place I'm surprised we never did see was that pyramid, the pyramid fairy, because that was two items that Failstream had access to pretty early on. It is a little bit out of the way having to check that without doing anything else on its way, and Pod was a pendant, so not too surprised, but I still would have checked it. And there looks like Failstream is going to avoid that moving wall room and hope that Vitreous has the final item.
Now, another location that neither runner has checked also is, I believe, the pyramid itself.
Correct. We have not seen that area or Catfish at all this seed, and probably, unless Sir Beater does it, probably never will.
So while we have Sir Beater taking the Argai off Argus, we have Failstream just almost at Vitreous, just a few rooms away.
Yeah, very close. And with Silvers, we'll be able to make very quick work of Vitreous. I've said it before and I'll say it again. That is one of the easiest fights in the game with Silvers. It is, those eyeballs melt and then it's 2 quick shots on the big eye, and it is super easy.
Sir Beater takes down Argus with one swift silver arrow.
Yeah, very good decision on his part to use the silver arrows there, and Failstream making extremely quick work of Vitreous because of those silver arrows. And there is one item in the wall, behind the wall moving room. So I don't think we'll see Failstream head back there. That is a lot of time waiting just to get there and then waiting for that wall to move.
Yeah, I don't expect it either. They technically only need the Master Sword. I'm sure they would like to have tempered and possibly even buttered, but they have multiple other spots they can check for multiple swords.
That is very true, and they are indeed taking off from Mire, not wanting to waste their time. They do have Ice Palace to check. Unfortunately, we know they will not find a sword upgrade there either.
Meanwhile, we have Sir Beater actually heading back into Swamp Palace to full clear it.
Indeed, they did not do the left side first, so they are having to go back in there. Will not find anything of value in there either. There is the blue mail on the first chest on the left, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's where we found it.
I believe you are correct.
All right, so do you think Failstream will head straight to Ganon's Tower after Ice Palace and getting their 7th crystal, or do you think they check item locations first?
That's a tough one. On the chance that they do go all the way up Ganon's Tower, or I guess they clear Ganon's Tower and not find anything, they'll not only have to go find a sword, but they'll also have to go all the way up again.
And that is never something you want to have to do. That is something you want to do once, and that's it. And so it'll be interesting to see where they go. They do pick up their Cane of Burna, which is something I forgot to mention earlier, does open up Spike Cave. I forgot to mention that when Sir Beater got the Cane of Burna. We have not seen that yet, so maybe we'll see Spike Cave check before Ganon's Tower, as it is somewhat on the way.
That is a very big possibility.
And Sir Beater has finished up Swamp Palace, and they are going to check the pyramid items for us. This will be our first checkup that way. Failstream did not do that when they had access quite some time ago. It'll be interesting to see what those items hold. If it is a sword upgrade, this could potentially be big if Failstream does not find one.
Now, Sir Laugh-A-Lot, if the progressive sword upgrade is not in the pyramid, what would you like to see?
Let's see. What was that?
What was the
Was a
shovel?
shovel. I would like to see both of the final defensive upgrades, Red Mail and Riot Shield.
Well, we know where the other mail upgrade is.
Oh, that's right. It's on top of Bumper Cave.
Yes, which we cannot access because we do not have the cape. But with Sir Beater finding that shovel, do you think they'll go check it?
I feel like they would go check it since they went out of their way to collect it. That would kind of be silly not to check it without, having gone out of their way to get it. Especially where they are still looking for 2 items. They're still looking for the bombos and the boots, and of course the sword. So that is definitely something I imagine they'll do. They are doing a lot of Overworld at this point. They are going to Catfish right now, it looks like.
So Catfish with the low probability of having our sword upgrade, but it is still definitely possible.
Indeed, and Failstream go-moded Ice Palace, just checked the very first chest, hoping maybe there was a sword there, which we know there is not a sword inside of Ice Palace, so not a terrible decision on their part, even without that knowledge. Not a terrible decision. They are trying to get up there and probably head to Ganon Tower really quick.
So while we have Failstream actually heading into, or at least we assume Ganon's Tower, I believe Sir Beater is headed over to Turtle Rock.
Yes, indeed, that is what it looks like for both runners, as you said. And Failstream is not checking the Burn-a-Spike Cave, which, again, it's not something I'm too surprised about. They are going to check Ether Tablet, though they can't get the item. And so that was kind of interesting, because even if it was a sword upgrade, they wouldn't be able to get it till they got another sword upgrade.
We would not. And we don't even have a Tower of Hera check on Failstream's side.
They are treating this as a pretty serious go mode, hoping that they're going to find a sword inside Ganon's Tower. There is definitely the possibility of finding the sword up there. There's 26 locations to where the sword can possibly be. So, Failstream dead rocking himself with that big boulder on the dead rock.
Definitely quite unfortunate right there. I'd be a little irritated if that happened to me.
Yeah, those dead rocks, the most annoying enemy in the game. They are sporadic. They just knock you around, and then when you hit them trying to defend yourself, they just, nope, I'm stuck here. And oh man, they can be, just like we saw on Failstream's side, they can be very aggravating. So SirBeaterOfArse is heading into Turtle Rock, which is a very good play for them.
Now, for those of you in chat who would like to play a game, guess a number between 1 and 22 to see where the big key in Ganon's Tower is. We will accept numbers and item locations.
Where you said normally you check number 3. Are you going to go back to that since we did find the boots?
I'm going to stick with number 2. Oh,
Oh, number 1.
wow.
Okay, then. That is really actually unfortunate because they are still going to be looking for a sword. They don't want to go all the way up there, which I cannot blame them because that limits you down to just a handful of locations if he were to have headed up Ganon's Tower right away. But first key, first chest, holy smokes.
Yeah, like that's a double-edged sword right there. It's both good and bad.
Yeah, so let's change it from Ganon's big key to where do you think the sword's going to be?
Ooh, I'm gonna if we're gonna guess where our Master Sword in Ganon's Tower will be, I'm going to say number 14.
Number 14. I'm going to say the 2 mini Helmasaur rooms. So the second to last or no, third or fourth to last chests they can possibly check.
So I believe we are on chest number 6.
Yes, we have seen 6. So this will be 7 on the torch right here.
Ooh, but there's our mushroom.
Oh, that is red herring. If they don't find a sword in here, they could very well be on the mushroom, or it could be absolutely nothing. So chest 7, 8, 9, and 10 did not have our sword either. So we are working our way through. Do you think that if they don't find a sword in the lower half of Ganon's Tower, do you think they continue on? Or do they leave the gauntlet and the tower climb for when they have that sword?
That's risky. Very risky. If I was in Failstream's shoes, I would probably head on out.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree with you. That is a very risky play to go into Ganon's Tower all the way through the gauntlet and climb without that Master Sword. However, we will see what Failstream decides to do because they have made some pretty crazy gambles so far and they've paid off pretty well.
So that is chest number 13, I believe. Ooh, so chest 14 contained our Master Sword, and Failstream happened to get that heart upgrade.
All right, so the decision to go to Ganon's Tower and not be looking in the overworld paid off for Failstream. Yet again, another decision paying off for Failstream. So that was, yes, as you said, chest number 14 for the sword upgrade. That now makes this officially go mode for Failstream.
So Failstream's only hope for making things, or I guess expediting things, would be to find tempered swords somewhere on their way up. But other than that, they will have to do the Master Sword Ganon fight.
And they at least do have silvers, so once they get to that final phase, it will not be too terrible. And at this point, it is safe to say that this is Failstream's race to lose. I could have said that a while ago, but until they got the Master Sword, you never really knew what was going to happen. But SirBeaterOfArse is quite a significant time behind at this point.
Yes, they still need to do Misery Mire. They still need to do Desert Palace.
Yeah, that is going to be some time for SirBeaterOfArse to even catch up. So if Failstream were to fail quite miserably many times on their way up into Ganon and on Ganon, this could be close, but this is most definitely Failstream's race to lose.
So now with Failstream, we are in the Kane Strats room, and SirBeater heads over to Laser Bridge.
Yes, indeed. And they do have the Cane of Burna, so once they get the Saf Magic, I wouldn't be surprised to see them pull that out and make this easier. Although, at this point, they might just want to take the death just to refill the hearts, although they do have powder, so they can get the fairies in the next room to refill them that way.
There's the mirror shield on Failstream's side.
Yep, and not a bad idea to check all these chests on the way. Again, hoping to find the Tempered Sword, just making this final fight with Ganon that much easier, so not a terrible idea to check. But there's only one more possible place for it to be, on the final chest of the dungeon and the game.
Ooh, and the last chest contains the compass.
So we will be seeing a Master Sword Silver fight on Ganon from Failstream, and I do not remember what they have left in their bottles. I believe they do have a green, and I think they've used both their blues to finish off Cold Stare, if I'm not mistaken.
Or SirBeater?
No, for Failstream, sorry.
Oh, Failstream. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head.
And that will be interesting. They will be able to take off and float to and restock if they so choose before they're going into Ganon. But with half magic, it will at least make that fight a little bit easier. In the final phase, they will be able to get the torch glitch, and they have the Cane of Burna, so they can use that to help go through the phases on Ganon.
Yes, and Failstream takes down Aghanim 2, while SirBeater takes down the outer shell of Trinex.
That's correct. And it looks like, according to chat, that he has not used any of his potions, nor has he restocked. I do not remember seeing him go to the witch, so that makes sense. And meanwhile, SirBeaterOfArse takes care of Trinex, does a good job, has picked up their boots and Bombo, so they will now be heading towards the Mire and Desert area, I would imagine, considering they just got access to both of those locations.
Yes, I do think that will be the play, and unfortunately for Failstream, fighting Ganon with the Master Sword, it is 24 hits per phase?
Yes, it is a lot.
24 spins, to be exact.
Exactly. I was just about to add spins. And so the slashes do absolutely nothing against Ganon with the Master Sword, so you have to charge up and spin into him, and that makes it that much harder. So
while we we take the time to watch Failstream put all 24 of those slashes per phase in, I would like to tell everyone in chat, please give the runners a follow. I'm sure they would all appreciate it. And especially if you like what you're seeing, I know a lot of them, or a lot of the runners in this tournament, practice Randomizer. So give them a big follow.
Yeah, they are giving us quite the show today. Failstream on the on Ganon fight as SirBeaterOfArse is getting through the rest of their dungeons. They are now in the same situation Failstream was a few minutes ago, a little bit more than a few, I guess, where they are in that pseudo-go mode. They do not know where that final Master Sword is, so they will now be left to the decisions, as Failstream has pushed Ganon to the third phase. And I do believe we were wrong. It is only 12 hits with 12 swings, or spins, excuse me. Chat is informing us.
Thank you for that correction, chat. But while we're also giving some thank yous and shout outs and whatnot, I would like to give a big shout out to our restreamer OPT lawyer and our tracker Katula89. Thank you very much, guys.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. As Failstream has finished off Ganon and just has to make the walk across the bridge to win this first game.
However, we do have Failstream taking down Ganon and finishing in first place with a time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 44 seconds. So GG to Failstream.
GG's to Failstream. They get that 1-0 advantage going into their second game, which will be at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Same time as today, just tomorrow. So that will be game 2. And meanwhile, we will see if we can get Failstream in for an interview, as SirBeaterOfArse looks like they're going to finish out the race. So as we wait for Failstream to join us, let's talk about the seed a little bit and some of the decisions that Failstream made. The first one, of course, being that sequence break into Death Mountain, which ended up not paying off incredibly big. SirBeaterOfArse wasn't too far behind, but that just kind of kept pushing Failstream onto this path of making gambles, and they all seem to pay off really well.
Well, I think because SirBeater found the lamp in Eastern Palace so soon, that was really the only thing stopping them from heading up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, it was at that point. That was the one last item, and if they'd found the flute there, they would have been able to get up there as well. But they found that lamp on the first chest in Eastern Palace. SirBeater finding it first because Failstream had decided to sequence break into Dark Caves Death Mountain to get the old man and make their trek up to Death Mountain.
So, but other than the initial advantage that Failstream got over SirBeater, I would say the only other thing that set them apart was just the gambles that Failstream made, just like the small ones even.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like every little gamble, and big gamble for that matter, that Failstream made led him directly to an item that they needed. There was really, I don't recall any moment that Failstream did something that out of the ordinary that didn't pay off, and which was pretty incredible. And Failstream finished with quite a remarkable time, 1 hour 31 minutes.
We're actually joined by Failstream now. GG.
GG's.
What are your thoughts on that seed?
Man, looking for that sword. I was kind of panicking a little bit when I did not find a level 2 sword anywhere in all the extra places that I checked. Especially, you know, when right like during desert and ice, and I just was checking every quick possible location that I could. I was really scared there wasn't going to be a sword in Ganon's tower. I also thought it was really funny how immediately I get the big key and the little key.
Yeah.
It killed me to get both of those and still not be able to be in go mode.
Yeah, we actually we changed the guessing game from the Ganon's big key very quickly to where the first sword was going to be, because that was all you were missing at that point.
Yeah.
Now, Failstream, say you did not find a progressive sword upgrade in the first 22 chests in Ganon's tower. Would you continue to climb, or would you leave and wait to find a sword?
No, I actually had a plan for if I did not find a sword in Ganon's tower. If I didn't find one, I was going to go straight to Palace of Darkness from the pyramid, and I was going to check the pyramid spot since I never checked that, and then go straight to Palace of Darkness.
That makes sense.
It had the highest chance of having a sword, I felt, if there was no sword for in Ganon's tower. So I was gambling a little bit, but I didn't feel like it was that big of a gamble, honestly. I had to beat Ganon's tower anyway.
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
that's not a terrible thing. Had it not been the sword, that could have been something that would have been a little aggravating, but not too much of a time loss. But going back to the beginning of the seed, not too much early, you did get the Power Gloves early, and you decided to sequence break, which led to the Tinsmiths and Moon Pearl. What were you thinking at that moment?
Okay, so I got the Hookshot, and really, after getting the Hookshot and also having the sword itself, I decided that I wanted to go to Death Mountain, since there was tons of chests there. I knew that I could do the Dark Room with the sword really easily, so it was like a no-brainer. Just go straight to Death Mountain and get a ton of chests up there. When I got the Gold Gloves and the Moon Pearl, it was just like, well, it just paid off real nice, you know.
Yeah, it paid off really well for you in the end. I mean, at that point, Sir Beater had decided to go to Eastern first, did the whole dungeon and got the lamp, and then went through Death Mountain. Wasn't too far behind, but one of the biggest differences in that early routing was you went to Thieves Town, Village of Outcasts, and got the bow before heading to Eastern, so you did not have to double dip Eastern.
Right. I mean, as soon as I got the Gold Gloves and Moon Pearl, Thieves Town just seemed like the obvious play. Especially, after going to the Dark World, seeing that it was crystal, and not just any crystal, it was Crystal 5. That was the most obvious place. I was really worried, though, not having the hammer, and especially leaving that item in the basement, wondering what it was. Funnily enough, I found out later that I could have gotten the hammer from the digging game and then gone into Thieves Town, and it would have been more efficient, but, hindsight.
Yeah, that's the way the randomizer goes, and and SirBeaterOfArse, just getting into Ganon's tower, saw the big key and the small key, gave us a few sword slashes out of frustration, seeing the same thing that you had. Like, really? It's like the best Ganon's tower, and you do this to me? All right, so another question. You are 1-0 on SirBeaterOfArse going into your second game tomorrow. How are you feeling with that slight advantage?
I'm feeling pretty good since I won today. It's with the randomizers, you just never know what's going to happen, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yes, indeed. That is the glory of the randomizer. You never know. Those decisions sometimes they can pay off. And for you today in this seed, they even the small ones, every little gamble, every decision you made seemed to pay off really well for you. It ended up being a really well-routed seed for you. And so you now have that small advantage going into your next game tomorrow. So you'll be able to have a little sigh of relief.
Yeah, it was, funnily enough, the gamble to desert instead of going into ice, between ice, desert, and Turtle Rock, I didn't want to do ice without a level 2 sword, because I hate that boss without a level 2 sword, not having half magic or anything else that would help me with the boss. I decided to go to desert first and see if it was locked to me, and it just ended up being a very lucky thing because I got the cane, allowing me to enter Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that. Again, luck is a huge part of it, and it was definitely in your favor. Sir Beater did Ice Palace before the other one, so they full cleared, and there was no sword in there either.
Oh my god. I wonder where the other swords were.
No idea. We have only seen the 2.
Maybe they're all behind the Argos in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, they very well could be.
Well, Failstream, do you have any, I guess, or I guess not, do you have any, if you played this seed again, would you do anything different?
Would I do anything different? I mean, if I played the seed a second time with knowledge, I mean, I would definitely remove a lot of locations that didn't matter, like Mini Moldorm Cave. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like my routing was pretty efficient in this one. I probably wouldn't be checking so much for the sword, knowing where it was in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, we did find the shovel on the pyramid ledge, so that possibly could have one. SirBeaterOfArse found it there. We do not know for sure if that is the case. He did not check the shovel location.
I see.
All right, well, do you have anything else you'd like to add as we watch SirBeaterOfArse starting their gauntlet and working their way up Ganon's tower?
Yeah, I mean, I guess good luck in the next race to Sir Beater, and I'm really looking forward to the match.
Well, thank you for the interview. And if you'd like to stick around and wait till Sir Beater hops in, you are more than welcome to.
I actually have to get going, but I will. But you know, I look forward to the race tomorrow.
Yes, good luck to both of you tomorrow. And again, thank you for the interview, and have a nice evening.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yeah, congratulations once again, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, little Gabe. So, as Sir Beater is making their way through the gauntlet, what else do you have to say about this seed?
I don't want to say it seemed like a pretty linear seed, but it was relatively linear. Probably I guess I'll stick with relatively linear. But yeah, Failstream's gambles just paid off better than Sir Beater's gambles.
Yeah, and that's, a lot of what it comes down to in the randomizer is whose gambles work out better. And yeah, I would agree. It was relatively linear. There was a few things that they had to do back and forth, Desert Palace, By the Logic, Eastern. But, other than that, like the seed really didn't let them do too much crazies. They could have done pod a lot earlier, or could have done pod, which neither runner did. But in the end, it was not required, which is quite fascinating because pod is one of those dungeons that seems to always be required, pendant or not.
Yeah, it was interesting that we did not have a single dip into pod.
Yeah, that is definitely a relatively uncommon thing to not dip into pod at all. Especially, again, they had access to it and also the ability to full clear it relatively early on. And so, I have a feeling that a sword, at least one sword, would have been in there. It's just such a treasure trove of locations, of items usually, that I wouldn't have been surprised if both swords had been in there.
So we have SirBeater over at Moldorm 2.
Yes, we do, and Trolldorm is trying to knock him off the edge, but he's holding firm, keeping that stance. Did get a slash earlier, so he's got the quick Moldorm right here, but no problem, is able to take care of Moldorm 2 pretty easily. And going over to the validation to check it for that compass once again. Looks like we're going to get some bombos, some blowing up of that chest. SirBeaterOfArse showing us a little bit of fun, knowing that he has lost this race. And according to Sports F.A., it looks like the credits hinted at a sword being in the Haunted Grove. So that probably would have been the dig spot, or Stumpy. I don't think we saw either of those. I don't think we saw Stumpy check at all.
I believe Stumpy was a quarter heart.
Was it? Okay.
It was something, I don't want to say insignificant. It was something minor, I should say.
Yeah, it's not something that you would remember because it's not a progression or required item. So that means it possibly could, the shovel possibly could have had one of our other swords. It would be interesting to see. Unfortunately, probably won't get to see that at all.
But we do have some swag in him on SirBeater's side with the bug net.
Always fun to see that.
And down into the pyramid we drop.
And as we were corrected earlier, it is 12 spins against Ganon for the first two phases, then 4 for the third phase, and then 4 silver arrow hits that require spins to freeze Ganon. Again, the Master Sword strats with having to do the spin is very different and very difficult. One of the biggest upgrades in the game is that Master to Tempered, because it changes the dynamic of this fight significantly.
SirBeater does a nice job of dodging those fire bats.
Yeah, having a very good Ganon fight so far. Just had one phase of fire bats that he did not do so well on, but other than that, has had a fantastic Master Sword Ganon fight. And getting to the phase 3 and doing a really good job getting that first hit in so that Ganon does not spawn the bat. A little nice tidbit of information to know that if you can hit him as soon as he teleports in, you can actually prevent him from spawning that bat. You got to get him before he raises his hands, as you saw just there. Otherwise, he will get it off. And it is a lot more difficult to do with the Master Sword because you have to, again, have to charge it up.
Yes. Ganon asking SirBeater if they found the silver arrows in the light world. They in fact did.
And as such, we'll be able to make pretty quick work of Ganon. Just getting one there. Unfortunately, if you knock him against an edge, you are not able to get a double hit off of Ganon, or in some cases a triple, as I have seen.
And it looks like, oh, very close with the double. 2 down, 2 to go. Oh, I am actually wrong.
You got one pretty early on, and then didn't get any for a little bit, and so got 3 pretty quick there. But that is a very well done fight for SirBeaterOfArse, as they finish in second place with an SRL time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 52 seconds.
GG.
Yes, GG's to SirBeaterOfArse on that seed as well.
And we will be, in fact, joined by SirBeaterOfArse for that interview in just a few seconds.
Yes, indeed, we will. And so if you have any questions that you'd like us to ask, sir, please type them in chat, and we'll see if we can get to them, and we will be bringing them in shortly.
We are now joined by SirBeaterOfArse. GG.
Thank you. GG Failstream.
GG's, sir.
We are now joined by SirBeaterOfArse. So what are your thoughts? GG.
My thoughts are, I actually, until I saw the dot done, I didn't feel like that was going that badly, aside from not having any sword upgrade. So what kind of happened?
So execution-wise, you both did it very well. What set you apart was Failstream did, I don't want to call it a minor sequence break, but we'll call it a medium sequence break right at the beginning. Rather than heading to Eastern Palace like you did to pick up the lamp, They went up to Death Mountain, found the Titan's Mitts and Moon Pearl. And from there, it was just correct gambles being made on Failstream's side.
Yeah, and he actually went to Village of Outcasts, got their bow before ever heading into Eastern, so they were able to do Eastern in one trip as well. So little things like that just kept giving him a little extra time. He did Ice Palace in Go mode, having found pretty much everything but his sword as well. So just little things here and there added a little bit of extra, or took off time for him.
Yeah, that's what I figured. He probably ended up doing Swamp before Ice. I knew that was a gamble, but it just seems to me, in my experience, that Ice kind of always seems to have that item you need, so I was expecting it to come through instead of Swamp, and, well, I know I did a bunch of extra kind of useless Overworld stuff too, so I'm sure that didn't help either.
But yeah, other than the, I don't want to say the incorrect gambles, but the gambles that Failstream made, that's really what separated you two.
Yeah, and as far as overall locations checked, I think the only ones that you did that Failstream did not do were the Pyramid Ferry and Ledge and Catfish, which that is, going to Catfish is a significant amount of time, but you pretty similar checks overall for both of you. Neither of you went to Pod. Neither of you did north of Dark World. You did both check Bumper Cave, but neither of you checked the Graveyard Ledge or any of that kind of stuff either.
Yeah, that just goes to show you how a couple of little things can add up to a pretty big time difference.
Yeah, quite unfortunate for your end of things, but you do have a chance for redemption tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Even though you are down, 0-1, how you feeling going into that race tomorrow?
It all comes down to how the seed goes. If it goes one way and you make the right guesses, anything can happen, so it'll be fun.
Now, how did you feel about that Ganon Tower big key and small key placement?
Probably the only time in the history of playing this game that I didn't want to see that. I was pretty upset about it, but I was already a little tilted at that point anyway, so I guess it kind of didn't matter, but not where I wanted to see that, that's for sure.
Yeah, both of you were not too happy about that. We saw your sword slashes after seeing that small key. That's the best time that's like the best key placements in the game for Ganon's Tower if you have a Master Sword.
Yeah, we got the best key placement in Misery Mire and the best key placement in Ganon's Tower, and none of them were really helpful.
That is so true. That definitely was a tease of a seed with those swords.
It's always good to get a little fighter sword practice in for some of the harder bosses, right? That's how I'll look at it.
Well, do you have any questions about the seed for us?
Did we find out where any of the other swords were after Master?
Nope.
We think there might be one behind the shovel. The credit says something about the forest kid or something has the fighter kid has a sword or something or another. It hints at there being a sword in the Haunted Grove. So behind the shovel, we're thinking there might be one.
That would have been too late to really make any difference, but yeah, that's where I figured something was going to be. If the Pyramid Fairy didn't have anything, I was going to go there after Turtle Rock if I didn't get all my items.
Yeah, that is something we will never see unless, of course, you were to reopen the ROM and go back in and check it out and let everybody know later. But up at this point, yeah, the only swords we saw were the very first one in Mini Moldorm Cave that you both got. Or no, it wasn't in Mini Moldorm. It was the well, correct?
Yeah, bottom of the well.
Yeah, bottom of the well, and then Master Sword in Ganon's Tower. It's a super early first sword, and then an hour and a half later, you're finally getting your second one. Pretty crazy.
Yep, that was definite weird placements there.
Well, Sir Laugh-A-Lot, do you have any final comments about this seed?
I really enjoyed the seed. It seemed, as we mentioned earlier, relatively linear in most of the routing. It didn't allow for too much deviation. For once, the pendant dungeons were not required, which you do not see too often in the current version. So that was also an interesting thing, not seeing anybody dive into Pod. But overall, it really, I mean, besides just a few lucky gambles that Failstream made, a really close race. Execution was on point for both racers. It was a joy to be able to commentate on.
Well,
Yes,
thanks a
it
lot,
was-
guys, for commentating on it, and thanks to OPT Lawyer for restreaming. I really appreciate it.
Also, thank you again to Catula 90 or 89, excuse me, I don't know how to read, for tracking for us. And if there's no other comments, I will plug both of their races again tomorrow night, same time on this channel. So tune in for that tomorrow.
Yes, indeed, it should be a good one, and I will leave everybody. I've been Sir Laughlot. It has been a joy. Thanks to OPT Lawyer for restreaming and Catula for doing the tracker. Both of our racers, again, fantastic job, and give them both a follow. They put on quite a show, and I will leave the last words for you, Little Gabes.
Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Little Gabes. Be sure to follow both of our runners so you can see more Legend of Zelda Randomizer action. Have a good night, everyone.